Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of I.Am.She. We are here.
Yes,
We still
we
in
are
the
here.
building.
What? What was that?
I'm just hyped because we still in the building.
Period. What's going on? How was your week?
Um, Mine
Was it
was
a
real
three,
good.
a four
No,
day work week for you?
let's back it up. Let's back it up. I'm
Big it
excited
up, big it up, big it
because
up.
I'm excited because my birthday is next weekend.
Yes. What are your plans?
I am
You're gonna
going.
be 40.
Listen, I didn't tell you to give all my information out. Why are you giving all
Oh
my
well.
government information out?
We already discussed this already in episodes to pass. What are
Well,
your plans? How do you reflect? What are you gonna do? Like, what are your what do you hope to happen now that you're in your 40s? You got in your 30s. What lessons did you learn? That's what I meant to ask Nate too, and I want Nate to answer the question too. Um, I didn't get a chance to come on last week, and I wanted to know all about Nate's birthday plans and what did he do? How did he reflect? Same thing for you. Like, you're about to be 40. What are you expecting going into your 40s? How do you feel?
He keep saying that 40 thing.
right. She keep on throwing it out.
Very
Listen, because I
disrespectful.
can't wait to turn 40. I can't wait.
Listen, Nate, listen. So I went to the nail shop yesterday to get my feet done yesterday. And the lady was asking me, she was like, so you in school? You graduated already? And I'm like, ma'am, I am almost 40. I'll be 40 next week. She was like, no, no, no. You look
Right.
like 24. I'm like, yeah, let's keep it like that. Let's keep it
Good
like that.
black don't crack unless you're
I
doing it.
still get carded.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you.
I just
Getting
think that
caught.
age don't look like it did on our parents or
It does
grandparents.
not.
That's
So people
because
don't
that's
believe it.
because we
Do you
stress
think it's
them
because they
out.
were stressed and they
That's what I
didn't
get
have
ready to
the,
say. That's because we
they
stress
didn't have
them
the
out.
outlets that we have now. They don't have the freedoms
I
that
think
we
it's
have
worse
allotted
now.
ourselves.
I think it's actually worse
Really?
now because
Really?
I think it's perceived that we have more opportunities where
Mm,
we have the same amount of opportunities. It's just magnified and then add social media always makes stuff bigger than what it really is. I just think
mm.
they just had a certain way of life that wasn't necessarily harder or easier. I just think we have
Mm-hmm.
more access. So before, was your mom or your grandmother getting pedicures every other week or, able to get her hair done,
Well, my
on a
mama
regular
has
basis?
always, well, Angie has always been a diva for as long as I can remember. So she always been.
Right, mine too.
But
Even in
that
her
wasn't
active
as
addiction, even in my mom's active addiction, she stayed with her
to keep
hair
us
done and her nails, her
Right. My
nails
mother
done.
stayed in the shop and kept me in the shop. So,
So was
Mm-hmm.
that
I
really accessible? That came to them at a certain age, though.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So they
yeah,
were
yeah,
probably already grown and parents
yeah.
once they were able to do that. And for some people, they had that. They were able to do that in their families, but that wasn't the access that we have today that we take advantage of was
Uh-huh.
not as
It's
accessible
not.
to our parents. I
Mm-hmm.
remember a lot of our parents knowing how to do things for themselves and having to do more things for themselves. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
well,
But I
I
had fun. I
Wow.
was
You
celebrating all
did?
week long.
Yes, celebration.
yeah,
I
I don't
only
like.
I only backslid one time
Oh my God. The Lord you
in
backslid.
terms of having a drink. We have
I
y'all
know
heard of
that's what you
State
meant.
Fair? State
I've
Fair
heard of it. Where is it? Is it like in the Laurel,
is
Columbia
in
area?
no, it's in Catonsville. So it's right
Catonsville.
off of
Okay.
Old Frederick Road. And every year during Memorial Weekend, which is me and my cousin's birthday, we we go there because they do like a start the summer celebration. So if you
Okay.
saw
Okay.
on my Instagram,
I
the
did. I
go-go music
did.
was playing. So they had a DJ, they had a go-go band. We were literally there for brunch at like maybe 12 something. We
And
didn't
stayed too
leave
long.
until almost 10:30.
Oh my God. That what
So,
time was to be had.
But it was night. Once we finished brunch, we came outside. They had a big tent, and the DJ and the band was set up. They had a bar, and we just sit
Yeah.
outside. And we literally were right behind the outside bar, and I didn't have to pay for one drink.
Like I already say, that's what you
I
get
didn't.
for one
Mm.
I
drink.
didn't have to pay for one drink. And they just every time somebody,
Mm.
especially in the go-go band, I can't remember the name of it because that's not one of my favorite ones, but they were really good.
That's
Once
good.
the older people that came from DC and the Maryland area came and they found out it was me and my cousin's birthday, like they were sending them and
Why? I'm
couple
sorry, y'all. She is
numbers,
so ignorant.
couple
Get
drinks.
down. Get down.
We had fun, and I just celebrated all week long. I never do that. But I have a cousin, like I said, we're born on the same exact day, and we typically
Okay.
try to do something together for our birthday. And she's off to Colombia now, and I'm having to be an adult and work, so my vacation is gonna come later. But yeah, it was a cool 40. Got to
Okay.
spend,
Okay.
got taken out to a couple nice bougie restaurants, and
Ah.
Yes, he went to
Okay.
Ruth Chris.
well, that's how I spent my actual birthday with a friend at Brew Chris. But then everybody else, because they missed that day, they just all was pulling up and hey, let's go here, let's go here. I think I gained a couple pounds, definitely, because I didn't have to pay for food.
Yes.
And somebody sent me Popeyes every day last week, and I
Mm.
don't know who it was, but it just kept being sent to my house.
They was being messy, but I love it.
They was.
I would say
Well, it
hungry.
They
wasn't
was
just
being
Popeyes. It was like from a couple different restaurants, but it was Popeyes a couple days. I would get lunch and then I would get dinner at my where I was rehearsing
Nice.
after the production. But it was nice. But
That's
I
good.
definitely I'm fasting. Starting on the first, I started fasting because I ate a lot of those new Popeyes wings.
hmm
Uh, I mean
Well, that's
it's a chicken for Popeyes, but it just tastes different with a little sauce, a little drum little flat. It just tastes
Lord,
different.
okay.
But I ate a whole lot, and I still didn't get a birthday cake. After all of,
Really?
uh, normally that's the first thing that I require, and I sometimes get it myself. But no birthday and cake.
okay.
Oh, that's
I said
good.
birthday and cake and ice cream,
Birthday,
but
no birthday and cake.
no cake and ice cream.
I
But
see
yeah, it
what
was
you
cool.
mean.
It was
Okay.
cool.
So,
So,
KB,
like,
what are your plans?
oh, I thought we were still asking Nate what did he have to reflect
No,
on.
no, no. Nate just wrapped his up. Now it's time for yours. What are your plans?
Mm,
I have a lot of plans. I have planned on David booked a they have a Hawaiian show.
mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I booked a Hawaiian show on Friday. Saturday I'm gonna do a boat dinner. And I have a couple other things that I have planned. I'm just trying to decide what else I want to do. So I'm basically booked from Friday to Sunday. We are on vacation. I
Come
just
on,
haven't
book.
decided all the other things that I want to do within that whole week. I know I'm getting my hair done on Friday. I'm getting a massage on Friday after I get my hair done, and then we have the Hawaiian show that night. But I haven't decided what I
Okay.
want to do for Saturday and Sunday. I'm just doing a whole thing. The whole weekend is just gonna be all about me. I'm letting my hair down. I'm getting white girl wasted.
Mm,
I am being for it. I'm just gonna be messy this week, next weekend. I'm just gonna be messy, and I don't care. I
As
don't
you
look my
should.
age,
As you
so who gonna
should.
say something? I don't look my age like I got a big sign on my back to say I'm be 40. It just you just know it's my birthday. And most people think I'm 20, so it's like, oh, she's just young and party, and I sure am at 40, but you don't know that. I am excited
Okay.
because I actually got my Florida license yesterday. So you know
Yay.
what that means. I ain't excited about getting my Florida license. You know what that means when I get my Florida license.
What that mean?
I'm a certified shooter. I'm getting ready to go straight to the range.
Oh, you gotta have your Florida license in order to go to the gun range down there?
No, in order to get any type of um guns, you have to have
Weapon.
Florida license.
Oh
Yes,
God.
that's my first go to. So yeah, that's where my birthday gonna start off at. Yes, I'm here to get her one. I am excited. We are
Oh
going
God.
to
Her and
go
these
find her
guns.
something nice and ready, and then I'm gonna test it out at the range. Y'all don't
Lord,
think
her and these guns.
y'all
Jesus
think
Christ. I am so tired.
everybody has their therapy.
Mm.
Not
I
Would you
her.
like?
guess. That not shooting a gun is therapy. Oh my God.
Would you want me to be an
You know what?
alcoholic?
I was looking at
Would
a
you prefer for me to
I
be an
was looking at a
alcoholic?
meme on social media, and the lady said, she said like she asked people like, what do you watch before you go to sleep? And they all had like these action, murder, police dramas, and she was like, why do people find comfort in trauma? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what gets them to bed. That's what they find. It's not judging anybody, but that's a
Mm.
interesting perspective. Like, why does trauma relax us?
You know,
It
I
do.
used to date a guy, you know who it is. And he liked to watch like forensic files and cold case
Oh,
and
I watched that.
Mhm.
creepy shit like that to go to sleep. And I used to be up at night like I can't wait for this nigga to go to sleep so I can turn this TV to SpongeBob. I used to turn his TV every single night, and he would wake up like, "How this shit get on? How you think?" I'm not watching that to go to sleep. I'm up in the middle of the night in the bed, terrified. You up here sleeping peacefully. Oh, baby, the moment he starts snoring, I'm turning the TV off, or either I'm turning the channel. Period.
I watched that. I
Mm-mm.
watched
I
those
can't do
shows.
it.
I have recently got into what
I
is it
watch
called?
him, but I can't watch
Fatal
him at night.
Attraction, and I can
To
Fatal
watch
put
it
you to
Attraction is my
bed
night.
and
shit.
stuff.
I
And
love me some Fatal Attraction.
um,
I watch Fatal Attraction
ATL
at work. I
Homicide.
watch it in the daytime. Yeah, I could.
ATL
Yeah, me too.
Homicide.
Oh my God, ATL Homicide is crazy,
That's
ain't
my
it?
new one. So I like
Mm.
it, but as far as trauma wise, I don't look at going to the range as trauma. I mean, it's just it's normal. It's like some people prefer to go to some people prefer to go to the golf course. Some people prefer to go to the gun range. It's I
Well,
mean, it's
by
normal. People
trauma,
do
I think
fun.
she meant by trauma. I think she meant like stuff that is associated with violence or murder
Hmm.
or just that type of genre. Not necessarily like you've been through it,
Hmm.
but maybe just the connection to violence. And she said we have this obsession with. She said a lot of people have to go to sleep like that. Like they have to
Well,
be watching something that suspenseful or that traumatic in order to comfort them because we've started to look at normal things as boring, and boring is not normal anymore. Like it's not a good thing. It's actually we've turned boring into a bad thing. But it was just interesting hearing her how many people responded to that and stuff like this. Some people like you like they like shooting stuff. They like, you know, cop shows or murder or that CS. I can't do any of that before bed because my dreams be in
Not
red
before
color.
bed. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I ain't gonna be able to go to sleep. I'm gonna be up all night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be up. Now I can watch it in the daytime while I'm at work or while I'm home chilling. Like today, I might do a little first 48 marathon. I might do a catch up on a couple shows of the ATL Homicide. But other than that, tonight at once that clock or when that sky get black, I'm turning it off.
I can
That's
watch.
it for
I
me.
can watch it until I go to sleep. I really can.
Oh no, ma'am.
I can fall asleep to ATL Homicide, which I usually
Oh
do.
no, ma'am.
That's
Oh
been a
no,
good one
ma'am.
for me that I've been falling asleep to and then getting back up and starting over from where I last left
Oh no,
off.
ma'am. Oh no,
For me,
ma'am.
it's not
No,
about the
ma'am.
trauma though. The thing is, for me, with the show, it's not about the trauma. It's like the
Mhm.
whole suspense of how everything, like how
Yeah,
everything
I'm sorry,
unfolds, how
y'all.
they
I'm
do
not.
the investigation, how they, how they do the investigation, how they talk to the people. It's just the whole suspense of like how everything plays out in order
But
for them
isn't
to
it
get the
interesting that those things bring us comfort versus like some
Me,
of us
I
don't
like
even
to
watch the
listen to
news
them.
anymore because of those same
I
things.
watch the
I don't
news.
watch the news.
I didn't watch the news for a
I
long
can't.
time. I actually just started back watching. Now I used to watch the news all the time when my grandmother was alive. I
Hmm.
didn't watch the news for a very long time, and I actually just started back watching the news because of the fact I figured out when you're not watching the news, you kind of lost, and there's so much stuff going on today. You have to know and be in tune with what's going on. Either watch the news, read a newspaper. I'm not a reader. I get bored. So I can't sit there and pick up a newspaper just to figure out what's going on. So first thing
But
I
Right.
we
do on
also aren't as triggered and as tense and as, anxious as we used to be when you
Mm-hmm.
stop doing. I noticed that in
Mm-hmm.
myself. I used to just be angry. And I stopped it because as a school teacher, I can't go to school like that. Because
Right.
then I'm starting my day with children, yelling at them and being on edge. But it's just interesting to me that those things like that, like I used to love watching fights, like real street
I
fights.
don't like. That's one thing I don't do. I don't go on Insta. I can't stand it. I will not. I hate when those video pop up
Hmm.
of fights on social media. That's one thing I can't stand because it's like, especially the ones where the parents, where you hear the parents or you see them actually in a video, like pop that beat, hit her, you better fight back. It's like, really, that's what we doing? I
Yeah.
can't stand it. Or you got the ones you got. It's just, it's crazy. Now that I won't watch. I can't watch it. I just can't. I don't condone that.
Mhm.
I don't know
It,
what it was about it, but it just used to tickle me. It used to be funny to me. And that's when I stopped watching it. I was like,
because
why
a
are you
lot of it is
laughing at this?
bullying, though. Some of it is bullying. Some of it is just plain a whole bunch of females or a whole bunch of males just bullying. A lot of it, it starts. That's where it starts at. Just a whole bunch of mean people that just like I don't know. I still
Yeah.
don't get it. Like when it comes across my timeline, I still don't get how these parents can stand up there with their kids, orchestrating a fight and be
Well, that's where
okay
they
with it.
got it from. That's often the person they got it from. That's who taught them how to
Mhm.
jump to violence.
That's how my
Mhm.
mother-in-law got shot because
Oh Lord.
my husband's sister sat there and she orchestrates fights. She
He said it
orchestrates
like, oh yeah,
wars.
my mother-in-law got shot.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how she got shot because his daggone simple sister sits there and she orchestrates the fights that her daughter is in. And they were out there, they brought a fight to his mother house and they were out there fighting. And I guess somebody was winning, somebody was losing, and somebody just decided to start shooting. And only person got hit was the person that had nothing to do with it, the older person.
mm, yeah, that's one of the
Mhm.
reasons I stopped watching it because it used to be big. Now I think they blocked it a lot on social media, but I used to
No, they
watch
got a
it.
whole. I ran across social media page. They have a whole page just about fighting, where I literally see in
Right.
the comments when people will post other things outside of the fight. I
Hmm.
literally saw the comments on the timeline that said, "I thought this page was about fights. What's all this other stuff that we get into? Like, really?"
But that so in your pages and groups, you have a little bit more freedom, but you won't really see a lot of that actually in the news feed.
Mhm.
They'll block you or they'll eventually get it off of there. But
They sure will.
it used to be, I used to stop, I was that person that would stop or pull over or stop where I was and watch somebody fight outside.
I
And
won't.
I don't know what that was in me. I didn't grow up like that. I'm not a person that jumps to violence, but it was, y'all know y'all is like watching stuff like that.
When I was younger, and ain't no day going better. I'm telling you, when I was younger, oh, we was running around the corner on Park Heights for them fights, Chris. So what we were running around the corner and we were standing around watching the fights when we lived around Park Heights. So I can say that, but that was when I was younger. But like now, like actually
Yeah, it
recently,
just not. Yeah.
yesterday I had a conversation with my sons. I had to tell them, don't be running because they thought it was a fight yesterday outside of Dollar Tree. We stopped at Dollar Tree and they seen a whole bunch of people gathering. What are you laughing at?
They thought it was a fight outside the Dollar Tree, so they
Yeah,
ran
they
to the.
thought. Yeah, so I had to tell them. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You don't ever run to a daggone fight. You lost your mind. That's how. Then the people that run towards the fights is the ones that end up getting shot.
Yeah.
Like if
Those
y'all
are
don't get
innocent
it,
bystanders and
I
yep.
had to tell them. That's exactly what I said, Nate, too. I said, you the ones that's going to be on the news talk about, oh, they was just an innocent bystander that ran to the fight.
Yep. Yep.
Get your ass this other way. Don't you never run towards them. And it's crazy because they father told them that a long time ago.
I'd have
His
been running with them to the fight. Come on, y'all, let's go see. Get your phone out. Get your
Oh,
phone
you
out.
ain't learned your lesson from when we was at the tunnel and you see me run away from you and left you there on that damn telephone.
I,
You should have learned your lesson since then.
I just be like, oh, let's go see what's going on.
You is
Listen,
terrible.
I
don't
don't
let nobody be
I
outside
don't do that
fussing. I'm in
anymore.
my window, honey. I'm in
You
the
is
window. I'm like Miss Pearl
terrible.
from 227, honey. I'm in the window. Don't let nobody be outside fussing. I'm gonna look.
Mm-mm.
What y'all talking about?
I
What's going
don't.
on?
Mm-mm. I learned that the very hard way, and luckily I wasn't an innocent bystander. But like
Right.
you said, guns went off. And I would not
Mm.
have been there. Me and my friend just pulled over, and we were standing outside the car, and all of a sudden you just saw people running, and then you saw hearing the shots, but they were running
Mm.
towards us,
That is
and I
not.
was like, "What
Mm.
is going on?" And
If it's a group fight, that is not my business. But if I just randomly see, like, you know how you see them random little fights where it's one little girl just minding her business on a bus stop, and these girls you can
yeah,
kind of picking on stuff like that, I may stop, just to intervene because that's not right.
yeah,
But if it's like a group, like a big group, you got the whole street out there swinging. You got somebody in this corner, somebody in that corner, somebody in this corner. I'm not staying for that fight. I'm just gonna go ahead and mind my business. I'm not staying because more than likely somebody in the crowd got a gun and they waiting for their cousin to lose so they can start shooting off.
Mm. Mm.
mm,
You
I'm
ain't
definitely
lying.
for it.
You're
But
crazy.
But speaking of all this gun violence, Lord, all these shootings is going around. I know we are a little bit off topic, but speaking of gun violence, I've seen a lot of shooting going on this week. There was some random shooting in Florida, somewhere in Florida. I think it was like Hollywood, Florida, and they said like 7 innocent bystanders got shot.
mhm.
Um, it was a shooting, it was another shooting. I don't know if it was a school or somewhere. It was in a facility. I saw a couple shootings on social media this weekend. It's crazy. Summertime.
Mm.
That just happened here as well. And unfortunately, it was around the Mondawmin area. I think it was on Ricerstown Road. And a lady said she said she was just driving by, and like you said, stopped at a light, and she just saw a gang of children, like a whole group of children fighting. She said you could, and by the time the reporters got there, they were still fighting, and they were fighting two children,
Oh my
and there was
God.
a police officer in the middle of it who also got hurt in trying to break up the fight. So it
Mm.
just was. I don't know what's happening, but like you said, it's just a rise right now, and it's about to get hot. So that means it's
That's what
only
I
gonna
was
get
going
worse.
to say. How do y'all feel about that? About the, so I know we've had that before. I remember having the curfew when I was there a couple of times. How y'all feel about this curfew coming back into effect? I mean, what
I
y'all?
think they need it. I think they need it. And they also need to find other outlets for these kids as well. But I think that curfew was well needed. These kids be outside doing all kinds of things at night.
I like that.
And I think the first offense, it's just like a warning. I get that. But the second and the third offense, I think it's not until the third offense where the parents get charged
Yes, that's
or
what I
the
can say.
parents have
That's
to
what
pay a
I like.
fine. I feel like
I
the
like that.
parents need to be the second thing, and then after that, the parents need to go to jail.
Right.
But
I like that.
it's the worst timing for it because it's not going to prevent anything from happening. All
Yeah.
it's going to do is make the problem worse. There are still squeegee kids outside,
Yeah.
and there's a
But
whole law against it now.
and then you got to think about, it is the summertime, and a lot of parents
Right.
out but to work. A lot of these parents who are in these rural areas where they putting a curfew in place are working working overnight jobs, 2 and 3 jobs, just to support their household. So it's a good thing.
Right.
It's a bad thing, from thinking from the parent aspect of it. I kind of feel one sided, like, but what, if I'm the only provider in the house, I can tell my kids to stay in the house, but I'm working this overnight job. This is my second job. I really can't, really control, especially
Exactly.
teenagers. Everybody know you can't control teenagers at a certain point. You really got to just slam them on their head to really get them.
No, 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 no,
Well,
no,
put
no,
them
no,
in a
no.
headlock.
That's not no, 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 not even that. No. The girl
Oh,
said you
no,
gotta
no,
slam
she
the
be the first
teenagers
one
on
to
their
check and
head.
hold the
She
child.
is
Talk
she
about no, no,
Hold on, we can call her
no.
children to check up on them because she talked about slamming kids on the head. Then
Well,
she said put them in the headlock. Are you
listen,
okay?
you see me.
But I think the problem they're putting a band-aid on a bigger problem.
They
Right.
putting a band-aid
That's
on
a
a bigger
big open
problem.
wound for our communities. But I think more
Mm-hmm.
initiatives need to happen in terms of there's a lot to do. There are all these um, after school programs and recs are starting to be rehabbed and refurbished, like in this
Mm-hmm.
city. But they're talking about stuff after those hours. What are we doing
Right.
after hours?
What are we doing
To,
after
as much
I
as
hours?
think a
to,
good idea. I think a good idea. I don't know if y'all know, like, where I used to live at in Middle River, Urban Air and Sky Zone and stuff. During the summertime, they have them overnight things. Them, you know what I'm
Oh, the
talking about?
glow parties.
Yeah, like the go. I think they should provide some type of funding for that within, those rural areas. I think they should provide some type of funding for that for like parents in those situations, because not just having the kids just sitting there like I'm being babysitted, but if you give them something active that they actually are into, I think that would
Mm-hmm.
create, a better space for them to actually want to stay, to
but they're
actually
not
want
gonna
to be
put
there.
they're not gonna bring that. They won't even put a sky zone in the city. So
They
let
sure won't.
alone open it up for people in the city to go
But
to.
I'm saying like the same concept though, like even in the Rex, the same type of concept. If they could, do funding for those rec centers that are, more closer to those areas, if they could and give the same concept like like late night movie nights and things like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
give them something to do, even skate ring. Do all night skate. You have so
So
many skate rings in the city.
you're speaking on babysitters, like older
That's what that is.
babysitting program, because that's all that's going to be looked at as. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's going to take investments from parents, and that's going to cost parents eventually, because that's like daycare. That they're overnight daycare centers for parents that work overnight.
Yeah, I just, you know how I am. Every time I come on here, I just want to save the world. So,
And I mean, I'm just saying that's possible, but it's going to take investments from the parents. Like the government isn't going to want to take care of they're already taking care of daycare for vouchers. But then it's going to turn into a thing of you got to be on Section 8 to get it. Or, the
Right.
parents who really
Exactly.
need it aren't going to be able to obtain it
true.
Right.
because they priced out or
They
they
do.
make
They
too
make it
much.
so hard. That is absolutely true. They make it so hard. It seems like if you got an inkling of a job, I don't care if you work at Piggly Wiggly and making $5 an hour. Oh no, no, you make too you make
Exactly.
too much.
Yeah.
You make too much for anything. We can't help you. You got to find another way. $5 an hour. You make
Mm-hmm.
too much money. That's crazy. That is so crazy. That's why I can't stand when you go in the stores and you hear these people. Like I went in a store um a couple months ago, and it was a lady. She was using an EBT card, and it was a couple behind her, and they were making a bigger scene than it needed to. They were just like, "Oh, my hard earned money is paying for this and this and that." And the lady didn't have a lot of grocery. Now I hear those complaints usually when the person has a lot of grocery. You hear those
Mhm.
type of complaints because it's like, okay, why you got two cards?
And you don't
But
know what that person is going through,
You don't
you
know.
right,
don't
because
know
that
their
person
life
could,
story.
and I had a lot of coworkers that would, and when I lived in North Carolina, I had almost all of my coworkers would say that was their fact. They up there, I went in Walmart and this girl, and she pulled out an EBT card. I would never do that. Well, you don't know her situation. She's working too, so yeah, she's paying using her hard earned money,
And that
and it's
same
coming out of
person,
her paycheck too. So
and that same person is
that's
the
where
reason
it's
why
at.
there are laws now for people who buy food stamps because they can't afford it. They can't afford to go to the grocery
Mm-hmm.
store, so they buy other people's food
I
stamps. They're the same people.
Yeah, I just don't like the prejudgment. Like you said, that lady was standing. She didn't have a lot of groceries, but the fact that you had to make a scene, and then it's a couple, and y'all behind a lady, and it was an older lady, and y'all behind her, and y'all just like, yeah, my heart, I just got off for work 8 hours. I did too. I just got off work for work 8 hours, and she ain't bothering me. It's fine. She ain't
That was in
bothering me no
Florida.
more than the man on the moon. Yeah, but I see it all the time. No matter where I go, you always hear that person. It always has to be that one person behind these people. Like, these people could be, how are you assuming that this person just does not work? This person just does not have anything to do. They just sitting around the house, tweeting in their thumbs, collecting money. If they work, to me, if they work, they are paying the same thing that you pay. They working an 8-hour shift too, but they just need some additional assistance. It's
And,
not all
right.
white gates, and it's not all white picket fences for everybody. Some people just have a trial that they go through where they just have a downfall. So it's just a prejudgment for me. I get so irritated by a lot of stuff.
It, but it,
I'm gonna fight
so
everybody.
but it's required because you don't know that same person if they would work. What if they are getting benefits like medical benefits or housing benefits that they would not be able to afford if they worked her same job? Because often I love those memes where they was like the person on EBT, this is what their refrigerator look like, and a person that's working a regular 9 to 5, this is what their refrigerator look like. Many of us that work can't afford
Can't
anything.
afford.
And we
Nope.
are a paycheck away from having to
From being hungry.
be denied for those same services.
Absolutely.
And some of those people they on those fixed incomes because they may have medical needs or one of their spouses may have a medical need or their children that they would not be able to afford. You know how much cancer medication costs or HIV medication?
That
Those they be
Mm-hmm.
like
diabetes.
over $1,000 a pill.
Diabetes is the number one. I seen this man in there trying to get his diabetes medicine. When that lady told him his total, I felt bad. Like, I wanted to go in my pocket and find a couple of dollars. I think
Right.
she was like 800 or something dollars, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my god, baby,
So
you ain't
some
got no.
people are working 2 weeks straight just to be able to afford their
Just to
medication.
be able
That's
to
besides
afford their
any other
medication.
bill or anything. So they need assistance. Like that's what those programs are for. But people just they forget. They forget.
Until it happened to them.
Yeah. How many of them were WIC children or parents had food stamps?
Hmm.
But let's get on to
Hmm.
our topic, y'all. What's our first topic? Because I don't know.
Hold on. Oh,
Our
what?
first time. You gonna play the video?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
So the first
I just
topic
feel
is
bad for the
actually
people.
it is actually oh shoot.
My stomach is growling. I'm so hungry.
I was hungry, but then I drank a little coffee. For some reason, coffee filled me up for a little
Mm,
bit.
mm-mm.
It made me not
I
want
don't
to
see
eat
how
as
y'all
much.
do it every morning on an empty stomach.
I used to not be able to. Now I can. It's just it wakes me up to drink coffee before I actually eat. It kind of wakes me up.
Mm, can't do it. Can't do it.
Especially like when you get out of the shower. When you get out the shower and you cold once you
Mm,
bed, it's like the coffee warms you back up.
mm.
So I'll say the first story while we're because for some reason it's not loading. So
Okay.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first story, a lady went into a nail salon like many people, and she got the gel. Is it a gel set?
Mm-hmm.
And she said
Gel
this is
manicure.
something. So right, a gel manicure. So this is something that she gets all the time. And in one instance, the nail tech noticed a black mark on one of her nails. I believe it was her thumbnail. And because of that, she didn't pay it any mind. She thought she had stomped her finger or slammed her finger. I don't know how you don't know that you slammed your finger. She said in the next couple days, her nail became swollen
Mm.
and looked as if it was infected. When she went to the hospital, come to find out she had melanoma, a form of melanoma, a skin cancer.
Melanoma.
And
Mhm.
this is something that is starting to be researched because more people are popping up randomly with these skin conditions, skin cancers or skin conditions, and it's all being drawn back to these UV lights
Mm,
that hardens the gel. And they're saying
I've
Mm.
that
heard of
these
that.
things are causing cancer in people, which is very scary because we used to have issues with going to get our manicures or pedicures because they were using materials or instruments that could cause infection and then cause a lot
Exactly.
of injuries. There are laws now that they can't do those things, but these UV lights are now as much of a problem. And I know, if I ever got clear on my nails, I've used those machines to let them dry
Me
quickly.
too.
But I see more and more women who are choosing to do gel manicures because they are said to last longer.
Last longer, yeah. That's what I actually just got one, and that's
The
funny
thing
you
is,
said
that's
that.
not even it's not even gel. It's actually just regular nail polish that
College,
the
yeah.
UV ray just hardens because the actual gel manicure is the powder. So they're using acrylic powder, putting like a different type of coat of paint onto your nail and
Yeah.
then sticking it under the light. The actual gel comes in different colors, so as though you wouldn't need the polish. All you would need to do is just
Just
use
the
that
powder.
particular color that you're looking for,
Hmm.
and that is the actual gel. But see, that's these I hate to say the word, these Asians and Chinese people who are doing nails are cutting the corners, having us
Yeah,
think that we're getting a gel manicure when we're not. We're
that's
actually
what I
not.
was getting
They're
ready to.
using acrylic powder and putting a special type of nail polish over top of it and calling it gel.
And
So
And
that's
it's
what.
really
people,
just the polish making you, it's just really the polish lasting longer. So instead of your regular OPI or anything like that that chips very easily, this makes the nail polish hard, and it won't chip, it won't go dull, it won't do anything, which
But
is, I feel like I said, they're cutting corners to do these manicures, or yeah, to do these manicures and even pedicures, so people get it on their feet too.
yeah,
People
that's
get it
what
on
I
their
was
feet.
getting ready to say. So when I went to the nail shop yesterday, I just got the pedicure. And the lady was asking me if I wanted gel, but it's funny because like for some reason I had like a flashback, I guess you could say, of when we were younger. Remember, we used to always go downtown to that one shop near Lexington Market to get our nails and stuff.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
y'all went to the
I
one
remember
across from the market or the one on
no,
Howard Street?
the one on
The one on Howard and
Howard.
Saratoga, it used to be right
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
get to the subway station.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
remember I just had like a flashback, and I was like, because when the lady, when she got finished doing my feet, she did the French tip. So when she got finished, she went to go get the gel ray thing or whatever. She went and got it. And I was like, I don't remember them doing this when we used to go get our nails done back then. I don't remember them ever using that machine. I remember them
They
just
they
telling
never
us to
did. It's
sit
only,
there.
when manicures and things and polish and things started to evolve, because it's all about time consumption, right? So when you think about it, when we normally would go get the little designs and we would go get our nails done and they would get painted, it would take forever, and you would end up bumping your nail, messing it up. So this was kind of like a time cut down, or like a shortcut to basically achieving the type of nail style that you wanted, or the type of color, without the mess and without the wait to dry, basically. So
Mm.
when they created this, it was like, oh, how can we do this with being cost effective, basically? So we're
Right.
gonna overcharge you for it.
Overcharge. That's
we're
what I gotta
gonna
say. Charge
we're gonna
more.
overcharge you for it. We're gonna tell you that it's a special type of nail polish, and we're gonna put you into this thing, and it's only gonna take you less than 5 minutes for your nails to dry, because it's not even less than 5 minutes. It only take less than a minute or less, because you stick your hand under there, and by the time she's done painting this nail, this one ready to come out, and then you
Right.
sticking that one in there. They going over it again, and it's like I can remember, like, when I get my nails done, I would look under. If you look under the light, you can see the rays coming down, And it's like that cannot be healthy. So I try not to get that too much. But like I said, a lot of people are getting it because it helps
The
them
last
once
longer.
again. It cuts down their time. They tell you the polish will last longer. The polish will be more, it doesn't go dull, it remains shiny, and that's it. Like it doesn't peel, it doesn't crack or
But
anything.
if you think
And
back to when before they was using the machine, your nails last the same. Your nails last about the same back then.
your nails last about the same, but it's the polish for some people. Because some people, when you was getting your regular nail polish or your nails polished with the acrylic and the regular like OPI, your nail would either chip real quick, like the polish would chip or crack or something like that. Versus when you go get this gel polish, none of that is happening. The only thing that's really happening is your your feeling, or like the acrylic of your nail bed is growing, so it's pushing the acrylic up further. That's you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how when you go get a fill in, all they do is just put more acrylic over top of the acrylic that they already
Yeah.
that grew out. That's just all
Right.
that's happening. So when you go get that gel polish, say if you don't want to go get a fill in 2 weeks, you want to go back in 3 weeks. That polish is still going to be there. That polish is still going to be looking good, and it's going to be looking fresh, and can't nobody really tell that your nails not done or filled in unless they really really looking at your nails, if that makes sense.
But I think with that, I think it's also the time between, because I know people who go every week to get that
I know
gel
people who go
manicure.
every week. Yeah.
And I used to get clear on my nails a long time ago, and I stopped doing that because it just felt like my nails were turning like a yellowish color. And
Mm-hmm.
my nails go so fast that I would have to go back and get that thing because I don't know how to take that off, and I don't like using that. I don't like buying that stuff that to get the clear off. But it is crazy to me that it takes so much to get this stuff. Y'all can't just take that off yourselves though.
Yes,
No,
you
you
can.
can't. You only
No,
way
you
you can
can.
really take off the gel is if you got a manicure, just a regular manicure, not a full set,
I
not
took
a full
mine
set.
off. No, 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 no.
How?
If you
Unless you popping
YouTube
off
it,
your nail, that's the only way you doing it.
no. If you YouTube it, I actually YouTube it because I had these nails on and I couldn't get them off, but I didn't. I didn't have the time to go back to the nail shop, and I looked up on YouTube. What you do is they have three different methods. So the method that I used was just dipping my hand
Isotone.
in the acetone
It's
on
a tone. Yeah,
in
I knew you was
water,
gonna say that.
and then taking the the cotton ball
yeah, and just wrapping
and
it.
the aluminum wrap
Mm-hmm.
and just leaving them on, and it worked. They actually
It
start
becomes
like
like it
gel.
becomes like a pasty, but then that takes off the acrylic powder too. It doesn't take off
But I
the
wanted them all. I just
Oh,
wanted them
right.
all,
So that's what
so
I'm
I
saying.
was
Like either you
fine with it.
doing that to get the whole nail off, or you popping the nail off yourself. But if I what I normally get is what I started getting was regular manicures with gel polish. So I wouldn't get any tips or a full set or anything like that. I would just get my regular nails manicured, which is cut, the dead cuticles cut off and everything, shaped up, and painted. After like a week or two, maybe like a week and a half before, at least before my 2 week appointment, the gel polish would I could just peel it off real easy. It'll just come off. So that's why I kind of was like, oh, I'm not gonna keep getting this shit. Like it's just a waste of my money.
Right.
So most of
What
the
about
time,
What about the fact that now, if you notice now, especially around Christmas time, they'll start to pop up that they're selling the little machines for like the little girls to be able to do their own home. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to do their own nails at home. The little you
really,
great
Do you
things.
let your daughter get those nails?
No, I would
yeah, that's
not.
what I was about to ask.
I would not. Actually, you know what's funny though? The nail technician that I went to yesterday, she was talking to me and she was talking to me about a lot of things. But one of the things she was telling me, she was like, I've never seen you been here before. I said, no, this is a new one. I'm just trying you guys out. I found you on Google. And she said, I said, I actually stopped up here a couple of weeks ago because my daughter wanted to get her nails done. And she said, how old is she? I said, she's 6. I said, but then she said she cried and she was like, no, I don't want to get my nails done. I'm scared. I said, okay, well, let's go. And the lady actually said, she said, good, keep it that way. People always bring their kids and they think it's cute, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Let her keep her nails as long as she can. It's not healthy. That's what
I,
she did.
I've been getting a pedicure before, and I've seen little girls get those gel manicures.
She
Oh
said
yeah,
it's not
people
healthy.
be in there with their kids all the time.
She said it's not healthy. She said no. She said let her wait until she's older. It's not healthy for them to get. And this was a nail tech. You know, she couldn't have said, she didn't really have to say anything because
I
at the end
wouldn't
of the
get her
day,
no jail, but I let her
she
get her
paid
nails
her
polished.
money.
Was she black?
No, she was an Asian lady.
Okay.
She was an Asian lady because I could hardly understand. No, actually, I'm sorry. She was Vietnamese.
Some of them really know what they're doing, and they're not in it just for the money. And then
Hmm.
you have the other ones that'll just give you whatever you ask for.
Right.
They sure will. They sure will.
That's like a beautician. Like they supposed to have a code of ethics in terms of knowing what to suggest to you and what not. You know, it was a lady who came in there and she was diabetic, and the lady was asking her about it. Now they're supposed to turn them away. They're not supposed to cut their nails.
No.
They could do the pedicure or the manicure, but they're not supposed to cut anything. And
Right.
that lady was just cutting away at that lady nails. I said, and I only know that because my great grandmother, her nurse used to come to the house to cut her nails. And I
Yeah.
said, like, you cannot. I
Or
said, you know, you're not supposed to be doing that.
they send you to the podiatrist if you
Yeah,
have.
it's a podiatrist. There's some you could get them to come to you, like if certain nurses will do it, or you can, like you said, go to your podiatrist to do it. There
Mhm,
are certain nail companies, like nail businesses, that specialize in that, but you
mhm.
have to like search them out. But they're not the average nail place, but they'll
I
do it.
think they should do that. I think that is a very good idea, Nate, and I think that's something that should be implemented, like in the nail salons,
Hmm.
like especially if you're a first time comer. I think they should do some type of brief survey, like, hey, or at least just ask you, like, have like standard questions to ask as far as the health before they really get into people's feet and not just hands and feet and not just jumping right into it, like, okay,
Well,
you sit
they
in my chair.
that's one of the first questions they supposed to ask you. If you don't have anything that looks like a skin condition or anything like that, they typically won't ask you. They
They
should,
won't. They won't.
because you don't always look like what you're going through. But
Exactly. Exactly.
diabetes is supposed
I
to be
remember,
the first
like
thing that
for
they ask
me,
you about.
a few like this was just a few years ago. I had a really really bad fungus in my on my feet, and I never knew over the years. I never knew what it was until I went to the podiatrist. But before going to the podiatrist, my nail tech, who I used to go to all the time, he would just say, "Put Vaseline on your feet. Put Vaseline on your feet," and I
Hmm.
would do that whole time. I had a fungus that was growing on the inside of my body and not the outside. It started off as athlete's foot, but
Hmm.
once it became untreated, it grew. The fungus then grew inside of my body,
And
and
that
it
cleans
caused my
probably make it
nails.
worse.
It caused my toenails to be black, and you know how when you got that fungus, your toenails be black, the bed be like lifted because the
No,
fungus be
I
under
don't know
your
what that.
toes.
I don't know what that's like.
Shut up! You know what I'm talking about. But when I finally went to a podiatrist who told me what it was, because I had went to several podiatrists, black podiatrists, and they were just like, "Oh, we're gonna give you this polish. It costs $50 every time you need it." No one ever told me, "Oh, do you have diabetes?" I'm like, "No, I don't have diabetes." And I
People
finally
really,
went to
the
Franklin
better the
Square.
insurance is, the better
The
care you
mm-hmm.
get.
But the crazy thing was, I had the same insurance. I just end up going. One of my co-workers when I used to work at Easy Pass told me go to my doctor because she would always go. Ironically, her and her daughter, when they got pedicures, they would always end up with ingrown toes, and they would have to get surgery
Hmm.
from this podiatrist every time they would go get a pedicure. So when I went to him, he told me like, "Oh, you have a fungus that's growing inside of your body." And that's how I knew. And once he gave me the medication and I went through the treatments or whatever, I'm totally fine now. But a
Sure.
lot of these nail techs will see you with these fucked up feet, and they will see y'all with this stuff going in your toes or growing on your feet, your toenail bed be black and all that, and they would just do it. They just do your feet.
But
They do
and
it.
that is actually that's against the law
That
because
is against the law.
supposed to. They're not supposed to. If
Hmm.
you have any skin condition, they're supposed to assess your feet right in front of you. They're supposed to do that.
You know,
And if
and
it's
you
any type of fungus or inflammation, they're supposed to ask you. And if you say yes, I have this, they're supposed to automatically decline you. If they don't feel comfortable, they're supposed to
They don't
automatically
give a damn about
decline.
that. They only care about making their money.
Just
and you
like
know what,
go ahead.
you know you know what's funny though that y'all speaking about that, because the same lady, the same Vietnamese lady that was telling me the advice, she did that. She looked at my feet and she kind of like, you can see her kind of like looking around my feet, and she looked at the bottom and the back of my heel and everything, and she was like, your feet, she was like, your heel are very healthy. I'm like, huh? I never heard anybody tell me that before. She was like, yeah, you have very healthy heels and feet. I went to, prior to that, my mother and them referred me to another nail salon, and this nail salon is booming. Like, you can't even get an appointment. Like, they be booked, they be packed, they be crammed. I walked in there, and this is supposed to be the recommended nail salon around here. Everybody go to, like, they had it, like their service be booming. I went in there, they ain't asked me no questions. They just saw me get in a chair. The lady ain't even pay attention to my
Of
day.
course.
I
Of
went to
course.
sit down. The man just
That
told me,
is
sit down right here.
95% of these Asians or Vietnamese or Chinese nail salons that you go to. These people don't give a damn about your feet. Stick them in their water. Go
But
about
what's
your business.
but what's crazy is their shop, the shop that I tried yesterday, you hardly ever see any customers in there. It's like nobody in there. It's not packed. It's not crowded. And she was like, "Yeah, we kind of always slow. I don't know why, but the one where they really just throw you in a chair, that one is always packed." So I like,
Hmm.
actually, I said I'll actually start going to the one over here, even though they're not crowded, because I kind of took it as something is wrong. So I'm looking for all the red flags, like, every time I come over to this shopping center, they never have no cars in there. So I'm just kind of, I'm looking for all the red signs. Like, are they mean? Are they talking about me? What's going on? Are they? I'm looking at making sure they giving, taking out the tools are, clean or new. They not taking out no old tools to do my feet.
Usually the
I'm
ones
looking
with
at
the usually
everything.
the ones that are not booming are the ones with the best service.
It
I
was.
ain't even
It
gonna lie.
was. I will never go back to the one that my mother and them recommended me. The one that everybody goes to. I will never go back to that one.
Usually the one
I
that
just
don't nobody go to be the ones with the best service. That's
Well,
just
now,
like Lux on Green Mountain
and it
33rd.
was
Lux on Green
cheaper.
Mountain 33rd be booming.
I
But
just don't
they
want.
I don't like the fact that when you go in, they already have their chairs, the little pedicure bowls filled with water already. I don't like that. I don't
Yeah.
like that. I tell them to take that water out and pour me some fresh water.
Right, and that's what they did. Like, the lady, she went and she put she got the little bag, the little covering that they put in there. She got the little covering. Before she put the covering down, she took the little this disinfectant wipe, and she wiped the whole area around while I was sitting right there. And she put the little plastic covering over there, and then she put the water and everything. She went and got her tools. She sat there in front of me and opened a brand new pack of the little, the pedicure tools. She opened the pack in front of me. She did everything in front of me, which made me feel more comfortable, And then, she was talking, is this okay? And she was just looking, like I said, she even like examined my feet and everything like that. And it's surprising because they was actually cheaper too.
Well, speaking of ugly feet,
Yes, Akbar.
speaking of Black Roses
I
ugly feet,
I,
I am appalled. When I saw that shit, I was
Akbar.
appalled.
It was another girl. It's surprisingly another Instagram model that has that same issue. She just showed her
My
feet.
thing is, girl, you done spent thousands of dollars on getting your body done, and you couldn't get them to straighten out that damn toe.
It's both toes, so on each side.
Exactly, the same toe on each side. Girl, looking a damn mess.
so Akbar allegedly she has I don't know why this not working today. Allegedly she has a condition where her two second toes have not grown in, like, and that's a birth defect.
It is.
And they have not grown in. It can be fixed. So either she can't afford it, she may be afraid to go through.
There's no way she can't afford it if she don't want to got surgery on her body. It's no way. It's no
That's
way she can't afford
priority.
it. She don't got a BBL. It's not. It's given. You don't want to.
That's
But you can
priority.
get a
See,
hotel room for a couple thousand, so that don't always matter. But
it's people
she
priority.
said this was her. She said she's always been self conscious about it. She's always had some type of hang up on wearing sandals or those things. But
Girl,
I
my
mean,
thing is, you talking all that shit. You got fucked up feet.
Right. She talks. She is one. She gets on
She
there and
talk
she
cold
talks
cash shit, and
about
them feet looking like
people,
they throwing up gang signs.
dogs, people.
old ass lady.
I don't know
A
if she
old
do it
ass
for the
lady
show,
talking shit,
but
throwing up
she
gang signs with them feet.
dogs people. Like she dogs people
Girl,
out. And
don't she?
she tries to run people through the daggone bus. She dragging people
Don't
out
she?
in the streets fighting with them
Don't
bags.
she?
I kind of feel
Don't
like
she?
you got what you deserve. Well, I know it's
Yeah.
a I know it's
No,
a
no,
little
she
bit
got
of
what she deserved,
backlash.
but I feel like her coming out is good, because some people are. I know a lot of people who are self conscious about their feet. I got a lot of family members who don't wear sandals and things like that in the summertime because of their feet.
Mhm.
Um, me, I love my feet. Don't get me wrong. Even when I had my little fungus, I still nobody could really tell but me. And I love my feet. Even now that they good, oh, I really love my feet now. And it's like a lot of people toes be fucked up. They're not in the way the ways so you like, oh my god, they all like this, crumbled up on top of each other, but
For me, it was the
I have a
post that
cousin who I have a cousin who big toe is big and then all her other toes are like little like that.
yeah.
Like so it's like her big toe is like big like this and then all her other little toes are real small. She
But
is very self-conscious. She's never wore sandals. She will never wear sandals. In the summertime she only rocks tennis shoes. And I be like, girl, your feet not hot. Your feet not burning.
see,
Like you don't want to wear nothing.
and you didn't know the whole time. She might have just been self conscious, and you sitting there messing with that girl.
No, no, no. I've been knowing this all my life. I've been knowing her,
Oh,
knowing all my life that she never liked her feet. She
okay.
never liked her feet. Never has. I
See,
know
for
a
me,
few people who got feet balled up like this, but they stayed with some sandals on, honey.
see,
Feet be balled up.
for me, my issue with the post was the first thing that she did when she posted her feet, and that's kind of what bothered me, knowing the type of from her just history of her just being
Mm-hmm.
out there and in the public eye and
Mm-hmm.
history. And the post just bothered me because the first thing that she posted, if you notice, was y'all please don't come for me. But you've been coming for people for years. Years you've been talking
Exactly.
about people, you've been
Exactly.
coming for people, you've been dogging people.
Exactly.
And the audacity of you to post that post, the first thing you said before you even got into it was y'all please don't come for me. But
A mess. A mess.
how? Like, how can you even say that? Did you care when you was talking about people, kids on Love and Hip Hop? Did you care
Absolutely not.
when you
Absolutely
was
not.
dragging Cardi? What's that daggone girl? When you was dragging that girl with Alexa Sky on Love and Hip Hop when y'all was dragging that girl down the street? Did you care? Like, no. Like you just, I don't know. But you want
A
somebody to feel
mess.
sorry for you. You want somebody
I
to
don't feel sorry for her at all.
now now y'all I'm so self-conscious, don't come for me. How you know them folks that you was
Huh.
picking on all this time wasn't self-conscious about their thing, their issue?
My thing is, like I said, how can you get a BBL and I know that BBLs cost a grip and not use that money to get your feet fixed? I mean, I get it. Some people might be scared to go under the knife, but at the same time, you going under the knife when you get that BBL too. So I don't know. Is it
Speaking
the
of,
price tag? I don't
yeah,
know.
no, it's probably gonna cost about the same. I mean, and I'm pretty sure they got payment plans. Everybody has payment plans now.
Everybody got payment plans now. My thing is,
Everybody
if
has.
you default on your BBL payment plan, what happened? Do they see you? Do they come back and take the BBL out?
They gonna deflate your butt.
What
So.
happened? What happened?
They
What
gonna come in like
happened?
they gonna come in like rent a center to your house with a whole surgery team. Come on, get up on this table. Come on.
Lay right here in this living room, ma'am. We don't give a damn if it ain't sterilized. Lay in this living room.
Do they put you in the? Do they put it on like your collection, like all your credit in the?
I know. Can you imagine going to court and collections and shit? You got filed for bankruptcy because you owe a BBL money.
Give me your butt back. We is coming to repossess this butt. Give me your butt. We coming to repossess.
I can just about imagine.
We coming to repossess
That is
this
embarrassing.
implant. Just give them
That
back.
is embarrassing. I cannot. That is so embarrassing. I done been like, you know what? You can go ahead and sue me. Take all my money, please.
What about the teeth? Like veneers and stuff.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all are getting out of control with these fucking veneers. These veneers look like goddamn chiclets in some of these people's mouths. I cannot.
No,
like
okay.
Why your teeth look like why they so big? Oh,
So
you can't even close your damn mouth.
So speaking of all these undergoing surgeries, on a serious note, I know we don't have that as a topic, but I just really wanted to reflect back on DC Young Fly, the passing of his wife for going under the cosmetic surgery. She lost her life going under cosmetic surgery on, I think they said on the 30th, I believe, or the 31st. Yeah.
I am so that touches me because I lost an aunt who subsequently went and got a tummy tuck and died from her tummy tuck. And that has prevented me from even thinking about going to get any type of anything done to my body. And everybody's like, oh, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I think that we as women do so much to our bodies to look perfect, and we have put these unrealistic expectations on us when it comes to what a good body's supposed to look like, how a woman's supposed to look. She's had 3 kids under 30.
Getting a mommy
and you went and got a mommy makeover, and it cost you your life. Like, these surgeries are not safe. Like, they tell you that these surgeries
That's
are
what
not
I was gonna
safe.
say. Do they I'm pretty sure that they gave warnings. I'm pretty sure they ain't just tell you jump on the table. I'm pretty sure they did an extensive, if you depending on who you went to, I'm pretty sure they did an extensive history, the same way they do if you go under the knife for gastro, these sleeves and stuff like that. They do those different, tests and stuff, and it's crazy. And going back to Akbar, to get back on subject, the way that society just plays on these people, when they have these issues and these insecurities, it I don't know. I really think it plays
I
a
don't
part.
know. It's just so crazy how we think that everybody's supposed to have the perfect everything. Like, you're supposed to have the perfect body, the perfect stomach, the perfect ass, the perfect feet. Your hands supposed to be perfect. Like, we as a society have put so many different unrealistic expectations on these people, and then and it's like the men gravitate towards the fakeness, but then it's like they don't really like the fakeness, and it's like, oh, I like a girl that's natural.
They just want that
Yeah, so you see all these stretch marks in this fupa. Now you don't like me.
I think
now when you mad at me, I'm a fat ass bitch. I don't understand.
I think for men,
understand.
it's just the experience. They just want that one time experience to say, oh yeah, I had the girl with the big old butt, I had the girl with the big old, boobs. I had the girl with these double D. I think it's just the experience of just having that
what
one
happened
time
to the original beautiful, like the way that we deemed beauty back in the 90s?
Absolutely.
When you had when it was, if you had a butt, you had a butt. It wasn't like a big thing.
If you did,
having a butt ain't all it's cracked up to be, baby. This wagon that I'm dragging be giving me back issues. I'm sorry.
You know, when I was younger, when I was in middle school, I was a late bloomer. So when I was in middle school, I didn't have boobs. I really didn't have a figure when I was in middle school. And there was a lot of girls that, were my classmates. And they would just, blossoming ahead of me. They had the boobs and they had the figure. They started
Mm-hmm.
getting shape. These are the same girls I see now on social media that look like they done blew up like balloons. But it's funny because these guys, when we were in middle school and in high school, those were the girls that they was chasing. And I did have secure insecurities, back then when I was in middle school, like, oh my God, I hate being skinny. I'm so skinny. But now it's funny because now that I'm older, I'm almost 40, and people are like, wait, you had 4 kids? Wait, you the same kid from middle school? Wait a minute, what happened? You ain't changed your body. And I'm like, yeah, that's what y'all get. Because now y'all making fun. And it's funny because I'm friends with a lot of people that I went to school with on social media, and it's crazy to see that these same guys that were chasing these more mature girls in middle school, I see them on Facebook now making fun of them, making little memes like the big booty or big boob such and such that was in middle school. It's funny to see how y'all walking around looking like the Marshallin man or something like that. Like they really just making fun of them now. But y'all was the same guy, the same little boys, the same
Exactly.
boys that was chasing them in high school
Exactly.
weren't paying no attention to me. And now I'm sitting here. I'm not healthy as healthy by far because y'all can't get me to run. I'm gonna lose all cardio. Y'all got that. So
Exactly. Exactly.
but I now it's like I'm proud of my shape, my size. And it's funny because like I said, for so long people were like, oh my God, you don't eat, you need to eat something. Do she even eat? Does she do? And it's like now that I'm the same size that y'all questioned when I was younger, y'all had so many concerns like, oh my God, she's just so small, she's been 92 pounds her whole life. I'm like, I go to the doctors. I do regular appointments. My doctor ain't said nothing wrong. He said I'm
Exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
now, now y'all same people that thought, oh, I was too small and I didn't eat and I was starving myself. Now y'all see me today and y'all looking at me like, oh, I'm so jealous. How'd you maintain that same weight? Oh, now you want to know my secrets. Now you want to know my
Now you want to know
secrets.
my secret. Hmm.
But y'all was making fun of me back then. It's
But
just
it's
crazy.
all about the body type that you are, that you have, and it's like a lot of us who have these different bodies. Like I was not a late bloomer. I even can remember having a menstrual cycle at 9, so I developed early on in age. And in my middle school days, I've always had a big butt, so it was just like in my middle school days, the butt was big. High school, the butt was big. It just gave what it gave. And I don't
Right.
know where I got it from, because if you look at my mother, you'd be like, where did it come from? Because she flat as a board. I don't know. Probably my grandmother on my father's side. Now I think about it.
That's the
Probably
crazy part
so.
about it, though. Nobody in my family has well, my grandmother was. I can say nobody in my family was really my size. It came, I guess, it came from my father's side. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody, nobody in my family was is obese, but nobody in my family was really like small and
Skinny.
slim like I was. They
Wow.
were just like tone, like my mother is tone, Jessica's tone. My grandmother even, she wasn't really small. She wasn't big, but she wasn't small.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
know where my skinniness came from, but I don't care. I'm here for it because now y'all looking at me trying to figure out my secrets. Here's the secret. I told y'all I like to eat.
Girl bye.
I eat.
Girl
That's the
bye.
secret.
Girl
That's
bye.
the secret. Food is my secret. Food is my
Girl
happiness.
bye. Ain't nobody think about you.
Food is my they did. All my relatives, when we used to go to the family reunions and stuff like that, they would always ask my mother that, like, she's so tiny, she don't eat anything, she just look like she don't eat nothing but 2 pieces of bread and that's it. Like they would really make fun of me and tell my mother like
Like
I was
nothing trying to ride
so
you.
small. They really would. When we would go to family reunions, I swear I was always the talk. It was always, oh, she's so small. Girl, you better go ahead and get you something to eat. I was always the talk. Like it was crazy, but it never, like I said, in middle school, when I was in middle school, I kind of felt bothered because I wanted the same attention as them other girls. But as I got older,
Mm-hmm.
and when I started going to family, family reunions and family events and stuff like that, it really didn't bother me after that because at that point, I was modeling and everything else, so it really didn't bother me. It was just like, oh, whatever.
And it's so crazy that now all the girls want to be skinny. Well, not even skinny. They just want a big butt and a small stomach. That's it. And it's like we getting these surgeries and our thighs don't match. It don't match our butt. It don't
At
match our
all.
anything. We just having surgery. And I just
It's
feel bad because, we have, the beauty standard now is not what the beauty standard used to be back in the day. It's
it's
just
the,
not.
it's the giraffe look for me. I can't take the giraffe look. I just can't. It's weird.
The giraffe look. What's the giraffe look?
Where they legs is tiny and skinny, and then their hips is like sitting out, and their butt is like extra big. Front. It just looks weird. The tiny little legs. You know how a giraffe is shaped. If you look at the giraffe straight, you know how they shape. So they got them really, really tiny little pencil legs, but then they
I'm
hips
crying.
and they butt kind of sit out. It looks
I'm
weird, or like
crying.
an ostrich. No, it
I'm
just looks.
crying.
It does. I
I'm
told Steve
crying.
that the other day. He was like a giraffe. I was like, look at her. Just look at her shape. Look at them little tiny legs. And then she went ahead and got the hips. You gotta get the legs to match. You can't just get the hips and the butt. You gotta get some leggage. Get some leggage.
Leggage. Leggage.
Don't be skipping out on leg day. Let them legs get some food too. Don't skip out.
They ain't skipping out. They just forgetting to tell the doctor to fix the legs.
That is if you are my size, you ain't got no business getting triple double D booty injections. You ain't got no business getting all that. If you my
But
size,
it's all about self-consciousness. It's all about how they deem themselves to be beautiful or what they feel like the beauty standard means to them. So I get it. I get it for some of us. I get it. I
because
get
then
it.
it's
Like
gonna
I
cost more
totally
money.
understand.
So when you come back and now you self-conscious because everybody's talking about you, those same people that were talking about you because you didn't have the butt and you didn't have the legs and you didn't have the breasts, are the same people that are now talking about you because now you look funny shaped, and it's gonna cost you more to get all that stuff removed because now you insecure because everybody's making fun of you because you funny shaped. So
Mm-hmm.
now you want everything
Mm-hmm.
removed, and now it's gonna cost you more to get it removed than what it cost you to have it put in. Look at Black
Mm.
China. Look at
Look
all
at
that stuff
Blake China.
she's
Look at
still
K
getting.
Michelle.
Look at
Look
Kate.
at
That's
K
what I'm trying to say.
Michelle.
Kate Michelle. Look at all this stuff she's still getting taken out. She's still getting all this stuff undone.
Yeah, I
And then
understand.
the thing about it is that the older you get, unless you maintain, don't just get those surgeries because you got your income taxes. Don't jump on the bandwagon and fly down here to Miami because you got your taxes. Because
Not
that's
even the taxes, baby. When the PPP loans and the unemployment schemes was coming up, baby, people were using that money to go get their body done.
those
I know a
surgeries,
few people who went and got their body done off that unemployment scheme.
I have a
those
Yep.
for you all. Um, why do you
Huh?
think those things are so important to people? Whether it be, you know, spending thousands of dollars on enhancements on your physical body, to your hair, to your eyes, getting different eye colors. Why do you
Oh
think?
my gosh.
What do you think the deeper reason is? Because nobody will put themselves under any
No.
health uh, restrictions if they don't. What do you think the deeper reason is?
Hold
say
on,
it
I'm
one
sorry.
more time because
Katie
you really wrote.
just threw me off guard with what she just said. Like, girl, no.
Because when you put the camera down, I'm like,
No, girl. I feel like a lot of people do it because some people do. A lot of people do it because it's about how they feel about themselves. I know quite a few girls who went and got surgery, or let's just say I know a few girls who went and got a BBL, who just say, "I don't like how my butt look. I want a butt." I've been had this flat ass all my life, and now big butts is popping, and I got a couple extra dollars or a way to make a couple extra dollars to go get this ass done, and I'm gonna go get my ass done. A
I
lot of
think
girls like, oh shit, my boobs is small. I really want bigger boobs because my man like girls with big titties. I'm gonna go get my titties done. It's all about how, one, I feel like it's about how they feel about themselves, and two, it's about how they think that men are gonna view them. That's really what it is.
I
And
think
I think, go ahead.
for me, I think for instance, let's talk about the mommy makeover. I can understand the mommy makeover. A lot of people, when you give birth, let's be honest, a lot of, deformities come into place. You get that pudge. Some people get that. What's that? That it looked like somebody wringed your stomach out, and you got all the creases and stuff like that. You get the
What they
stretch
call it, the
marks.
cream pie, the oatmeal cream pie stomach.
Yeah, you get the. Hold on, keep talking.
A lot of people call it the oatmeal cream pie stomach. But I honestly feel like, and I know Nate going to disagree with me on this, I
Well,
really feel like men have caused the reason for a lot of women to go through these surgeries and get these different surgeries because they don't understand the changes that a woman body go through. After she's had 2 and 3 kids, it's gonna be hard to work that off. It's not gonna be easy. Like I
what
look at my friend
are
Indira,
you talking to?
huh?
What type of men are you talking to? Because
Not men that I'm talking to. No. Not men that I'm talking to.
Oh, you
But
trying to take
women.
me
What I'm
right?
saying is, no. I'm not saying that it's the type of men that they're talking to. I'm saying it's the type of men. Men have made it a beauty standard to have a fat ass or to have a big butt. A lot of these women, let's just say, look at Oh, I had her name right at the tip of my tongue. But people who have had a boyfriend or a husband for years, and their husband done left them for a girl with a big ass butt, big titties, or something like that, and she like, damn, I done had 3 or 4 kids for this
but how do
nigga,
you
and
know
he done left me for this bitch who got a big ass butt.
how do you know he left her for those qualities?
Those, I'm not saying that is the reason why, but I'm saying 9 times out of 10 that be the reason. And then another thing is that
No,
we have glorified, when just think about the times when, who was the first big booty girl on the scene? I'm gonna say, what is her name?
Melissa
Buffy the
Ford,
Body.
Buffy the Body.
Buffy the
That was
Body.
natural though.
Melissa Ford ain't got no ass. Buffy
Buffy
the
the Body
Body
is
was the
natural.
first one. I know, but a lot of women can't achieve that natural ass like that or have a natural ass like that. So a lot of
Everybody
girls
from
started saying, well, shit, I'm gonna go get mine done.
everybody from Mississippi to Louisiana to Texas, they all got that booty. You need to just find out their eating brushes.
right.
That's all you need.
And a
Right,
lot
go
of
get you some
you know,
collard greens and
it's
cornbread, baby. That's
not
what
in
that's what
your
that
gene
is.
pool. It's not in your gene pool.
It's not in your
It,
gene pool.
but I don't disagree with what you're saying. It's just who you're putting it on is where the conflict is coming
Social
because it's
media.
not it's not because often when a man leaves something, he's been with this person, he has children with this person. If a man decides to uproot himself and go over here, there's something here that he's not getting. There's something here that is a conflict for him. Now, the biggest one that I can see is confidence. That woman may
Mm.
have a big ass and big titties and look a certain way, but she has confidence. Nobody wants to be with someone who is constantly debasing themselves and comparing themselves and putting down themselves. Do you want to be with somebody like that? So why would you want
I
to
mean,
stay in a relationship with someone?
me personally, I am that person. However, I am not, I have told y'all about my struggles with
Hmm.
um low self-esteem and things like that. But I don't look at another woman and be like, oh, she's prettier than me. Now that I ain't finna do. Now, I seen some pretty people in my lifetime, absolutely, but I ain't gonna be like, damn, I wish I looked like her. When it's for me, it's like my low self-esteem kick in is like, damn, I don't feel so good about myself today. Like I don't feel like, oh, I don't feel pretty. My hair not done, so I don't feel cute. My nails not done, so I don't feel like I'm meeting like my normal standards of what I feel like I should look like. If that makes sense.
Hmm. And I get
Okay, so.
How many
A
times?
lot of women look at other women and be like, "Damn, I wish I looked like that," or "My
But that's
husband
not a.
head turns,"
It,
or his.
I'm not trying
Go
to
ahead.
take man out of the equation or out of the fault range. What I'm saying simply is, it's not always what it seems. When we're
It's
looking
not always what it
at
seems. You
and
right,
she's now on social media saying he left me with all these children. What built up to that? Because it takes a lot for you to leave a
but a lot
for
of men be like, "I don't like the way she let her body go." A lot of men, if you listen to some of these men when they talk about why you left your wife, oh, I don't like the way she let her body go after she had our kids. You
But
know, she
here's
just
the
got
thing,
all fat.
and here's the thing that bothers me. You concerned, especially when it's both sides, it's um
Ends of the
both.
spectrum.
Yeah, like you let your body go too. Why you got to come for my body?
Exactly.
That's my issue.
Exactly.
Like, no, we both need
but
Exactly.
to
often,
just
and
go
I'll
to
say,
conversation.
I notice how men speak. I'm a man, so I can understand how men speak. Men speak
Yeah, she gotta be a man.
to a physical manifestation of it. If and one of the ones that I wanted you guys to look at today, and I'm gonna fix them for next week, but so we can actually play them. But one of the things that happens is I'm not allowed to speak to you on an emotional level because it's going to come across as I'm a certain type of way. So men typically
Mm.
in a physical format, fitness may be very important. It may have been really important to you at some point. So when a
Hmm.
man speaks up and say, "Hey, what's going on?" and typically a man will only speak up if he's hearing
Hmm.
from you. I don't like my body. I don't like this. I don't like that. She looks like that, and she looks like that, and I'm getting tired of looking at Kardashians, and we're hearing you say these things. So
True.
men
Mm-hmm.
are always the most sensitive, or I'm not going to say
Mm-hmm.
sensitive. They're not
It yeah,
normally
it
more
doesn't.
direct in what they're
Yeah,
saying to you.
yeah, that's what I
It
can say.
really
It
does
don't
matter.
always come. That's what I was going to say. Sometimes it don't. I can agree on that fact. That sometimes it don't always come from a harmful, like like I was saying,
It doesn't
like
always come
me
from a
and
harmful place.
was talking about last week, Nate, when I was like, my husband said, yeah, you've been drinking your water. How you drunk
Mhm.
your water before you went to bed? Because he was just saying, he said it in a joking way, but it was in a caring way as well. Like, you're not leaving me with all these kids. You've been drinking your water, what you been eating, what's your diet look like? But
That
at
makes
the
sense.
same,
Especially,
as
especially if he giving you special treats. He want to make sure that it's a pure flow.
right. So, but
Right.
it's on an aspect. It's coming both ways because at the
Right.
same time that he's saying, you've been drinking your water and stuff. He's like, babe, we need to start getting up. We need to start walking. We need to start doing this. It's
I
coming
guess
from a
he realized
sincere
y'all ain't
place.
old as y'all ain't young as y'all used to
Right.
be.
Yeah, it's coming from a sincere place of we just need to be healthy. We got these kids. It makes me think, wow, we really got these kids. We need to be more healthy. We need to be more conscious about what we're doing.
Hmm.
So it doesn't always necessarily come from a negative place. It could just genuinely be somebody just caring enough to say, you ain't leaving me with these kids. We died together. You ain't leaving me with these
You die,
children.
I'm going with you because I ain't staying with these children by myself.
But I
I
think
just
sometimes we have to work on how we hear things. So if you've been complaining you got three children and you've been complaining since that first child that your body hasn't snapped back to what it was, you know, you can only say that for so many times before anybody says, "Well, get your fat ass up and exercise," or let's go to the gym, let's go. Depending on who it is, it's gonna come across a certain way. But we have to stop pointing fingers and really get into the place of what am I doing to make this person comfortable saying this about me? Am I complaining about myself too much? Am I being negative? Am I not doing anything and complaining? And I think that's where
mm-hmm.
a lot of it stems from. But also, a lot of these issues it's not necessarily men uh, saying, I want this, but it's normally something a lot more deeper that he's attracted to out there. Yeah, a fat ass is great, but I think at the end of the day, if you have somebody that you can trust, that you can talk to, that you can confide in, that's not treating you like a child, that's not nitpicking at you, that's complaining all the time, then your attention is gonna be driven. I just
Mm-hmm.
watching this other podcast, and the man said a man will be with somebody that he likes, but he's going to stay with the person he loves. Now, this person that he loves is getting on his nerves. They're complaining too much, or they're nitpicking too much. But this person over here gives me peace. That don't mean I want to be with that person, even if I leave you for this person. It was because I had more comfort over here than I had over here. And it's not always about aesthetics, because most men don't mind that. Especially now, it's more popular. It's in songs now. He don't mind you having a little pud. But
Now,
like you
now,
said, when it gets to a unhealthy level, like baby girl, you taking diabetes medication. This is the problem.
I just feel bad. I just feel bad as to what social media, how social media has really
how
just
social media has
and
played a
put
part in it.
the topping on the cake. And as you was talking, Nate, it just made me go back to a post that I saw, another one about Lizzo. Somebody had came for Lizzo. She had recently posted and was like, "How's she doing all this dancing and moving around, and she doing all these shows and still ain't lost no weight?" And for her to
That's
have
and
to
that's like it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Look at Corey LeRae. They talk about how skinny she is.
right, for
Glorilla.
her
They
to
want
have
her
to
to get her ass
explain,
done.
right, for her to
Like
have to
it's society
explain
is just like
herself,
it's giving me
for her to have to
huh.
explain herself, for these celebrities to actually have to come out, like the what's the other girl, what's the other girl, Ariana, what's her
Ari,
name? Yeah, for them to actually have to come out and feel like they have to explain themselves, it just tells you. I just fear, based off of social media and how it's even affecting celebrities. These celebrities have money. If they really want to get these things done, they can get these things done.
but
But
you
the
have
Not
to,
even
fact
that. They are real
that
people. They don't
the
have to go off of what you think a beauty standard is.
but that's what I'm saying. The fact that social media is even affecting these celebrities that should not have a care about what you say. The fact that it's touching them to where they feel like they have to come out and speak up about, or come back with a comment for what somebody else said. Like, it just tells you how powerful social media is. And
well,
it's a fear.
powerful case only for the fact that these same celebrities have led the way for years in telling people what they should wear, how they should look, what they should eat, who they should date. And now a lot of them are saying, well, you know what? I'm human. And they haven't corrected any of that behavior that they had prior to that. Lizzo,
Mm-hmm.
Lizzo's the thicker girl, the Jill Scotts of the world, so and so. They
Right.
started out this way. So they've been fighting this fight from their beginning. But many people
Right.
tell us what to wear and how to wear our hair and what designs to wear and what clothes. But now a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
people, and I'm not saying this happens, but a lot of them I don't think can hide it anymore. They can't hide that none of this stuff really matters. We a lot of
That's
these
like that's what Doja Cat said. Doja Cat came out
celebrities,
saying the same thing. Like, I can't do it. Like, y'all want too much.
and but it's not
Y'all
but
want entirely too much.
and see and I disagree with those celebrities that say stuff like that because the celebrities and the system of it all, the celebrities were just the vessels that those things were being filtered through. Many of those people were just telling people, you need to look like this. You got to have a body that's banging. Like that's a part of, especially the music industry, the arts, the entertainment. Because I'll tell you, as an artist, I have just as many body issues that are being brought at me for being a heavier guy as some of the women I know. Just as many,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens to us all. But what is happening is now people are realizing that they are human beings, and I cannot be a machine. Like I'm not an android. I cannot live up
Right.
to standards that are unrealistic, even for me, somebody who has been. Now it's people are aging. We have 4,000K TVs out here, 8,000K TVs. Like you can't um you can't hide the fact that you're aging anymore. So now people
Mm-hmm.
these mom quote unquote mommy makeovers, and there are men that are getting them as well. And they're getting these makeovers and they're dying because they're trying to keep up with where technology is. where people's standards are so high for everybody else, and they lower them so drastically for themselves because they know they're human.
Right.
So
Right.
we require those things from everybody and not require them from ourselves.
Heavy on the men getting them too.
Yeah, I
Heavy
mean,
on the men getting the makeovers too.
men have been getting hair replacement surgeries. Men have been getting, the pectoral implants. Men have been doing. Well, I'm gonna say other cultures because black men have been
Mm-hmm.
starting to get on this bandwagon where they want to fix things about themselves, and that's fine. But
Yep.
it's you look at Michael Jackson, how he changed over the years. You think he was the only Jackson that did that? You think he was the
Oh, of
only
course
black
not.
man who did that? No, there's plenty. But we don't hear about it. Women have started to, have pride in it and promote it, as standards because you all are really fighting yourselves. It's easy to blame
Mm-hmm.
and say, well, they started this. No, you all begin to compete with each other. So the standard of beauty then shifted. We always had fat asses. But now, because somebody else, like Kim Kardashian said, it's what's happening. Now we want it to look like hers look. When we set that standard, people want big lips. People, you have a gap, uh, Black Roses. People are now
Mm-hmm.
shaving gaps into their mouth.
Wow.
And anybody who's ever grown up with a gap, I tried for years to get mine closed, and I had retention, and it would open right back up.
Sure are.
But
I
Really?
all the
video
season people went through, for people now to be getting, you know, gas.
surgical dimples. People getting surgical dimples.
Mm-hmm.
People even
Dimples,
doing freckle filters, and a lot of people who had freckles, they couldn't stand the
freckles.
fact they had freckles. People actually
How
doing
many? How many
freckles.
of you?
Mm-hmm.
How many of you have worn a weekend mole? You know what a weekend mole is?
Right here.
When you go out on a
Oh,
weekend,
oh,
you make
yeah,
your little
mode,
pencil
Mm-hmm.
mole.
the beauty mode.
Mm-hmm.
No, I ain't never did that.
And no, these are birth defects that people
That's what
have.
I was getting ready to say. Birth a
A
mole is
dimple is a birth effect. The muscles in your jaw have splits. Is the dimple.
even, you know what's another thing that they're doing now? That my son was recently asking about, and he was actually upset. I took them to the dentist last week, and he is upset because for the last couple of years I was taking him to the dentist, and
He
he's
wanted
like,
some
"Mom,
braces.
I need braces. That's a new trend." I'm like, David, you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
If you needed braces, the man would have said you needed braces. Well, he don't know
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing. He don't. I said, David, that man has a
Braces.
degree. That man has been treating your teeth for as long as I can remember. That man has a degree. I'm pretty sure if you had some type of ailment where you needed braces, that man would tell me he don't know what he doing. He don't. That ain't his. He need a new job because
And
he don't
remember,
know
people with
nothing.
braces used to get made fun of. Oh, she got braces. Look at
Right.
brace face. Look at brace face. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my son was upset because these dentists, so now they have a new dentist since they came down here, same thing. The dentist said his teeth is fine. He has perfect teeth. He has nothing wrong with his teeth. His teeth, good job. He's doing a good job on his teeth. And as soon as we left out of there, that was his first thing out of his mouth. Mommy, why he
I
didn't say
want
nothing about,
braces.
because evidently he don't think you need braces.
But
Mm-hmm.
the crazy thing in being in classrooms is not even always that you're personally getting teased about something. You just notice
Mm-hmm.
else getting attention for what they've got. Or, you have somebody who has these bright, perfect teeth. And some people have those naturally, but some of us
Mm-hmm.
and it
My
and
sister, fortunately, has naturally pretty teeth. They like no spaces, just pretty teeth. She has a beautiful smile.
Jessica too. Jessica has never had anything done to her teeth.
and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we it's not even that we're being pulled out because we don't have those things. We're just looking at the attention that people get.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, you have a beautiful smile. After hearing that a lot of times, growing up with a sister or brother or cousin that has those things, you start
Exactly.
saying, maybe I want those things. Maybe I want somebody to say that. And that's where a lot of these insecurities are coming from. It's not always from the outside. It's always something inside of you that wanted something that somebody else had. I always wanted to be
Exactly.
my dad. I have a brother and my dad are like 6 foot. But my mother is like 5'1". Where did I think I was gonna get that extra couple feet from?
Me too.
I
Me
got the
too.
average of the two of them, very much so. But it just,
I want to be tall so bad.
I did. I used to want to be tall because I wanted to. I was a dancer when I was young, and I was an actor, and everybody else was so tall, and I had a growth spurt. But then I've been this height since fifth grade. But
I've been my height since I was born. I'm ready to move, honey.
brother who's tall, but for sure, but
But
you
and you know what?
know other people. You said what?
You know what? As I'm sitting here thinking about, going back into talking about kids, and you talking about, you wanted to grow, you wanted to be taller, and you, Crystal, saying, like Rose saying that, your sister had the perfect smile, and just going back into what we originally started talking about with the different surgeries and stuff, the
What's on my
butt
phone?
implants and getting the breast implants and doing the mommy makeovers. It's like if you have a daughter, it just popped into my head. Like, what are you telling her? What are you teaching her?
Mm-hmm.
What are you teaching your son? What are you telling him that, oh, girls that don't have big butts and big boobs, they ugly? Like, what are you teaching your kids? A lot of people don't think about that. They just jump right into it because they know. A lot of them just know that, oh, it's going to make me more money on Instagram, or oh, it's going to make me more money on my OnlyFans, or oh, it's going to get me to where I need to be. But you don't think about it because the majority of
Oh
them,
my
these
god, my
celebrities
phone
that
not
are doing
charging.
this, y'all have kids too. Like, what are you giving your kids? What type of image are you giving them, that they just not good enough? That
Oh,
at
what is
some
like
point
that?
in their life, certain
Oh,
things
come
on
on.
them need to be fixed, need to be repaired.
Right.
Mm, yeah. And it's okay. I just think when it gets to the point, like right now, I'm going through a series of uh, dental procedures, and it's something I always wanted to do, but I'm afraid of the dentist to this day. I
So,
don't like pain. I
I'm
don't like
afraid I ain't by myself.
it. Just got
'Cause
to a
I'm
point.
feeling like I'm a big baby.
That's me. Well, my first experience with a dentist, I had a Jamaican dentist when I was probably
Okay.
like, and it was a horrible experience. He was very rough. A lot of foreigners don't have good bedside manners as doctors, and he
They
was
don't. They don't.
avoided the dentist for a very long time until I couldn't recently. And so now I'm doing things to improve my smile, but it's I'm doing it for me. Yes, it's going to help my career. It's going to help me, feel more confident when I'm speaking to people, but I never had those insecurities until it
Right.
was a problem, and then they all came in the last year or two. But it really is, you have to walk a fine line. It's okay with doing surgery that enhances who you are or improves things, but when you're doing it for the reasons of, selling a million records or, getting a man you want, it's not worth it. Your health and life
It's
is
not
not worth
working.
getting those things if it's going to cost you your life.
And
Or
have those conversations with your children. Have those conversations that I'm not the reason why you're doing it. If you're not doing, if you're doing it just like you said, Nate, because you doing it for yourself. It's
Mhm.
just that you want to do now. Have those conversations. Don't have your kids just out there in lingo like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. When I turn 21, I'm supposed to take a trip to Miami. This is what I'm supposed to do. Like, have those conversations. Like I said, going back to my son, just having that conversation. That man said ain't nothing wrong with your teeth. This man tell you every time you come in there. Like, just have those conversations and figure out where it's coming from. If they do feel insecure, figure out where those insecurities are coming from. Is it coming from your
Right.
classroom? Because you looking at everybody around you and all the boys that got braces in your school is getting attention. Like, just have those conversations. Have to be able, if you feel secure and safe enough to let somebody put you to sleep and put some foreign
I hate you
object
so
in
bad.
you should feel comfortable enough to have a conversation with your child as to why you going over there with a flat butt and you coming back in 2 days and you look like you got two balloons in your butt. You need to be able to have those
You can't sit
conversations.
down. You can't sit down for 6 months. You can't sit on your ass for
You
six
need to
months.
tell your child why they
You
sitting
can't.
here
You
walking
gotta stand up
around.
for 6 months straight.
Right. Have these
Regret
conversations.
that we
I
say
can't see
that.
myself just standing up for a whole 6 months.
But in the same breath that we say that, we've also applauded these people. How many
Mm-mm.
people gave J Lo much love for having that figure, and we looking at it now like her ass really wasn't that big. It really
Right.
wasn't. What was people really going off about?
Because she shaped like a regular Puerto Rican. If you look at most Puerto Ricans, they are, more shapely. They do have more of a busty figure.
Yeah, but we applauded those things, and now we're telling people if you don't have those things, then you're not really what's. I mean, in the
Mm-hmm.
entertainment industry, I have to say I've been to New York auditions before, and the standards of beauty is just people really work
Out of this
hard,
world.
look a certain way,
That's how a lot
Mm-hmm.
of these, that's
and
how a
when I
lot of
say
these,
they have no talent. Look at most of the
No
people
talent.
in Tyler Perry movies. Those niggas could not act their way out of a paper bag, but they're tall, they're light skinned, they got chiseled bodies, or they're seen as sexy individuals. And sexy people listen to you when you sexy. People follow what you
Mm-hmm.
say. They take your advice when you are considered sexy. You know, a number of things. You're seen as more talented when you're sexy. And we know that's not.
Look at Shamar Moore. I'm not really a Shamar Moore fan. I don't think he's an okay actor to me. But look at how he is, like how women drool over him, like, oh my God, he's the sexiest man. And it's like, oh,
We haven't
okay.
seen
But what's his acting
anything
skills like?
substantial in years. But when you go to his
Mm-hmm.
social media, you would think he been working every day. And he probably is. I don't know that man's life, but I haven't seen him in anything that is Denzel Washington caliber.
Worthy.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, word
Mm-hmm.
like it doesn't equal up to me. Will Smith will
Nope.
always have a career because people find him attractive. So people will
Yep.
defend him because they find him attractive. And it has nothing to
Yep.
do with your skill sets. It is these people have made an industry out of looking good. They don't
Mm-hmm.
wear the same thing twice. They're always perfectly, put together. But the moment they step
Right.
out of that shadow, look at all of. We've never said anything bad, other than a couple gay rumors about Will Smith. But the moment he became a real individual is when people like, oh, that nigga crazy, or he a crybaby, he a faggot, and just went on and on with
Oh, he
it.
need to suck it up. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
suck it up. But we're not allowed to be human beings because we have these unrealistic expectations of and standards of what
Mm-hmm.
we and what we have to become. And we keep living in the shadows of these things that are great. But when you get there,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. My first time going to see a Broadway show, I was so disappointed. The theater was so tiny and small, the seats were uncomfortable. And I'm saying, this supposed to be Broadway. Broadway is another theater. That's all it is a group of theaters.
That's a,
On one
mm-hmm.
box in New York. And not to diminish the work that happens there, but I had an expectation of what bro. I thought it was going to be this huge, humongous, block wide.
Grand.
You
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even see the stage if you wasn't up close, and it was just as small as the theaters we have here. So I had to shift my mindset and think, okay, these are things that I want. So if I can't get to Broadway, I'm gonna make Broadway come to me. But we have these
Period.
unrealistic expectations of what greatness is, and it's and as parents, specifically parents or anybody around a child, we are harming them because now they have those standards of beauty that are unrealistic.
A lot of times, I was telling my friend that the other day, yesterday, matter of fact, when he was telling, we was talking about him allowing his children to dress themselves. They are 9 and 12. And I said, well, why are you picking out their clothes? Well, they don't know how to dress. I said, no, no, no. They don't know how to dress according to you, but they are 9 and 12. Let them kids have their own sense of fashion. You might not like what they put on, but if they want to go out here in some leggings and some cowboy boots and a shirt, let them do it. That's their fashion. Because you deem that, oh, that don't look good, they don't go together. That because you are dressing them, they don't have their own sense of responsibility. They don't know how to take care of themselves because they're waiting on daddy to do everything for them hand and foot now. So now when they grow up to be 16 to 17 years old or whatever, and he can't figure out shit on his own, you can't be upset because you
No.
have taught him to depend on you hand and foot. Your opinion matters, not theirs. Like the boy had on a hoodie yesterday. I said, that's what teenagers do. I said, name one teenager you have ever seen that's in 90-degree weather without a hoodie on. I ain't never seen
I
a
can't
teenager
sound
in
good.
90-degree weather with some shorts and a shirt.
On, but they got the hoodie over their head,
They
and
got
that
the hoodie over their head and they got it zipping up to the top. That's their comfort zone. Let
okay.
that
They
be
know
them.
Yeah,
If
but
if they pass out, let them pass the hell out. He'll know next time.
they
I'm telling you, the result of that, a lot of our, I'll say the greater majority of our children do not like how they look.
They don't like how they look.
How they look,
Exactly.
and that's one of
And
the reasons.
no amount of anything you can put them in the flyest shit, they are not going to feel it unless they feel it.
Little
You
girls are
can
now.
put them in the flyest things.
If she don't
Huh?
have her done, if she don't have her hair done, she got her hoodie on.
Exactly.
I try to wear a hat and cover herself up. But where is she getting that? What do you do when
Where's
you
she getting it?
feeling your best? You put a scarf on, you wrap it up, you got your hat on, and they're emulating that behavior. I know for
And
sure,
they're emulating the behavior.
boys and girls, or however they identify, a lot of them are not. The majority of them are not comfortable with how they look.
Mm-hmm.
So they get
Exactly.
they're comfortable not knowing how to read, how to multiply or divide. They're comfortable with that. They are
Say
more
that.
comfortable
Say that.
how they look.
Because
That's
everybody around me don't know how to read. Everybody around me don't know how to do, math. Everybody around me, but everybody around me got on good clothes.
yeah.
Everybody around me got on name brand. Everybody around me got on Gucci, or they
Mm-hmm.
wearing the latest Jordans. And here I am. My parents take me to Foreman Mills to shop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to go into the mall. I don't know what it's like to get something offline. I don't know what it's like to go get the same $3 shirt from Shein. Even though it's the same $3 shirt, it's better because it's a $3 Shein shirt and not a $3 Foreman Mill shirt. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It makes I'm
That's
one
how we do it.
that's what makes being a school teacher for me so hard because you're dealing with these issues. You're telling the children,
Mm-hmm.
take that hoodie off your head because you see them hiding behind things. And I
Mm-hmm.
started wondering,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't a thing for me when I was in school. You didn't walk around with no hoodie on your head, but a lot of these
Right,
children
exactly.
really feel subconscious about the way they look. They're constantly
We used
pulling.
to be like, oh, the boy with the hoodie on all the time, he was a weirdo.
Yeah.
He was a weirdo. He was a geek. He was the nerd. Now all of a sudden, everybody got the hoodie on. Everybody wearing a hoodie at school. I said, why? I said, that's just like in the wintertime when all they wear is a hoodie.
Hmm.
You don't see kids with no coats on no more.
Yeah.
Now you got him going to school with this big ass bubble coat on. The kids are making fun of him because he got on this big ass bubble coat. And it's I told him, like, you have to let him. He's in middle school. He's a 12-year-old in middle school. He is probably going through an identity crisis. You dressing him how you want him to dress. You got him wearing his hair the way he want to wear his hair. Like he said he want his hair cut. He has this big high top afro, and he like, I want to get my hair cut off. I don't want this no more. Like, I'm only wearing this because this is what you wanted. I don't want this no more. I want my hair cut off. Well, do you want it cut a little low, or do you want me to just? No, I want my hair cut off. Let that boy have an opinion. I
you
don't
know,
like when people do that to their kids. You are putting your expectations on what you think they should look like onto them. I can't stand that. I can't stand it.
it took me a long time now as a parent. I can say I can agree with what you saying, Black Roses, because I was one of those parents. Um, Recently, I was one of those parents, and it took my husband to say something like, "Why are you still taking out clothes?" Not recently, but about like a year or so ago. I would take their clothes out in the morning and at night, the night before, I would take their clothes out and I would on them. This was the beginning of the school year. This was the beginning of the school year. I take Cameron and Gemma's clothes out, but I also take the high school. And the middle schooler, I would take their clothes out for them, pick their clothes out on them the night before. And my husband was like, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "They're kids."
Exactly.
But it took so much because as a mom, it just felt like I just want to call them. I want to make sure they're not getting picked on. I want to make sure. But like you said, you have to at some point let them find themselves. You have to at some point let them, and it did. I've backed off. I've backed off. I have backed off for a while now. And even Gemma is now, she's getting her own stuff together. Only thing you really have to do is on it for her, because of course I don't want her touching her arm. She's only 6. But everybody goes in and get their own clothes, and they are comfortable, they are safe. And I think you are right when you say that you putting them into a bubble, because now, like I said, at the beginning of the school year, I was still even taking out David's clothes, and he was in the 9th grade. But guess what? The moment I stepped back after David said, "What are you doing?" The moment I stepped back and I allowed them to, do their own stuff and be their own selves, he don't even wear hoodies. He stopped wearing hoodies to school after a while. He stopped wearing hoodies. And I'm like, and it threw me off, because I'm like, what you not? You not cold, you not cold, you not, why you start wearing hoodies? What, you need some new hoodies? He just was like, no, I've been start wearing hoodies to school. Like, he wear t-shirts, he wear, his stuff is matching. He dressed pretty decent, and he got a style. Kylie has a different style, an individual style. Kylie's style, he has to accessorize. He likes to wear chains, and he likes to wear watches. David, the one that's in 9th grade, he just likes to he likes to stuff plain. Just give me a plain t-shirt and some nice cut or nice fitted jeans and my shoes to match, and I'm good. Gemma, she still likes to, she's 6, so she still likes to experiment with her style. So sometimes where I will tell her, because it's 90 degrees down here. No, she not walking outside with some daggone boots on 90 degree weather. You can pass out. Now, her, I can tell her to put it back. But you are correct. Like, I do understand where
I
you're
just
coming from, and I can agree that you are
I
100%.
think that for the most part, most parents that do that fear their children growing up and no longer needing them. I feel like those parents
Right.
that do that are the needy ones. Like, I need my kids to need me. When there's going to come a point in time where you're going to create a child who don't know how to do for themselves.
Right.
They're going to become a teenager who don't know how to do for themselves. And then they're going to become an adult who don't know how to do for themselves, because you are, like you said, coddling them. And I don't know, I guess maybe because when I had Jalen, I was 17, I was a young mother, and I wanted my son to be as free as he possibly could be. Jalen has always been a free child. I can think to when he was in kindergarten, he like, "Mommy, I want to wear this. I want to put this on." I've always allowed him to be express himself, to have an opinion, to do what he need to do, because I feel like, why am I throwing what I want him to look like onto him? I had to stop doing that, because I'm like, what you want to wear? And when he got to a point where he started picking out his own stuff, I'm like, oh, all right, that look good. Even when he was in middle school and he would go get a pair of shoes and they would be orange. What the hell you got orange? And he would pick out a green. What the hell you got green? Why do you have you know what? You can have it. That's what you don't come to me talking about this, that, and the third. But then he grew up. Now that he's 20, he wear orange shoes, lime green, a bunch of fucking colors. And I'd be like, oh, worry. That's who you are. That's who you are. And I allow you to be that, because that's what you want to wear. Then go ahead. That's on you, baby.
How many times throughout your childhood did you have that same level of freedom?
Never. Never.
And that's what happens with parents. They typically give their children something that they were missing, something that they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that is coming from the way we dress our children, the way we give to our children, the excuses
Mm-hmm.
we give to our children. It's typically what we.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very hard on children. And it's one, because either you do what your parents did or you go the exact opposite way.
Or you go the exact opposite way.
We have to understand our patterns, but we also have to give grace to those individuals who are getting it wrong, and gently kind of, I think that's where friends and family need to come in, because sometimes we can see the destruction that's about to happen.
Right.
or
And
Yep.
and
it really
typically
can
you
affect
in the
them.
driver's seat, you don't see that.
Right. And
Yeah.
it really can affect the way that they grow up, because I really
It really
started
does. It
to
really
notice that
does. It really
they
does.
really, when from me, just taking control of everything, to now letting them be individuals and standing back and not hovering over them and telling them this is how I want it done. You need to, from me just kind of putting my hands up, like David said, these kids are old enough to understand these things. And I like that. I like that we can have those conversations, that he's the reasoning person to be like, listen, no, step back, stand back. It's a really, like, the you can see like the difference, you can see the change, but you can also see the effect, because for a long time, my oldest son, from me just doing those simple things like taking his clothes out and stuff like that, he was very dependent. Like, mommy, can you go do this for me? Mommy, I don't know how to go online and order my own stuff. But you in high school. But it was my fault. It's my fault because of everything that I took charge of when I should have let him be.
Hmm.
Now look at some of those men that you've come across that you're not blood or friendship connected to, and you like, this nigga don't know how to do nothing. That's where
Yeah.
life come from.
Oh, I already know where it comes from.
And
I
then
already know.
we push children out into adulthood and expect for them to magically work of which,
Hmm.
and that don't happen. So now you have
I'm
a grown man that don't know how to wash his own clothes, don't know
don't
how
know
to
how to wash his clothes. Don't know how to cook for himself. Can't
don't know
do
how to clean
anything.
up
Don't know
after
how
his.
to do shit.
And it's and
Yep.
it's all it was in many cases it wasn't just neglect, or it wasn't simply neglect. It was me doing for it. As up and if my grandmother was still alive, I could call her to clean up my room today. At 40 years old, I could call her and this room would be spanking. All I would have to do is make sure it was a fresh pack of Newport shorts sitting somewhere waiting for her.
Mm.
But she would my room. I would even I would go away for the weekends as a kid, or always was somewhere for school or on a trip or something. I would come back. My room would be spanking brand new, and the thing was, I just grew accustomed to it. I knew at a certain age she would ask me for a pack of cigarettes or ask me for a couple, and I would give it to her, and because I knew my room was gonna be clean. If I dropped the towel on the floor, the rest of the room spanking brand new. I dropped the towel on the floor. When I came back that evening, that towel
That's
was
how
folded
it's
up
going.
in the dirty clothes hamper. And that's what especially when we talk about our young boys, this is what's happening to them. My mother made our house so comfortable that I didn't want to leave out. So
Mm.
I grew accustomed to not wanting to be outside. I
Mm.
also if I didn't have my grandmother, I wouldn't know how to cook. Because my mother would do all those things. But just understand, this is what's
Right.
happening to that adult male in your family or that adult child. Because there's girls that's like that don't know how to do nothing because their fathers take care of everything.
That's my daughter. Now that's crazy though, because he'll say that about the boys, but when it comes to that daggone Gemma, if she daggone bet her eyes the right way, Daddy, can you please
But see, for him, he don't want her to fall in love with a man that maybe he used to be or the men he grew up around. And for you don't want your son to end up like some of the scabs you picked up before. So you do the things for him, and we make children so comfortable that they don't know. We dumb them down.
we
They
do.
don't know
We
how to do it.
definitely do. We definitely do. And that, like I said, I had to just, step back. I had to reflect on that. And and that's the other thing that, David made a big point of, is saying you stressing yourself out because you running around behind them doing stuff that they can do if you just show them. Just
Mhm.
take the amount of time that you're taking to just doing it yourself is the same amount of time that you can show them and get it done, and and take less stress off yourself.
And our message to the mothers and maybe a few fathers: once you show them how to do something, they're gonna make it their own. Not gonna clean like you clean. They not gonna cook like you cook. They not gonna clean up after themselves like you have. So, ugh, just know that they got it, and trust that they'll have it, or they'll eventually get it, and just
Because
keep
they're
raising
still
them.
watching you.
Right, right. But they still not gonna do it. And this, I think, this is really for the mothers. Your child is not gonna clean up the way you clean up.
You
You
right.
don't clean up the way your mother clean up.
You right.
So why would you expect them
I
to?
agree. Say you right. I sure don't. She be doing too much for me. I be like,
Right. So imagine what they're thinking. Like, I don't see no dirt. Did you clean underneath the stove and the refrigerator? Did you move the refrigerator out? Ma, I can't move that stove. That's what you do.
right.
We put them standards on them, and we do that throughout life. And some of us try to make up for the stuff that we didn't have or we didn't do. That's why a lot of these parents are putting so much energy into prom and not into graduation, because some of them didn't graduate, but a lot of them wanted to go to prom.
I feel like some of them heard our show because it went from it went from people showing just prompts and going outrageous to the prompts to now that I see on Instagram and social media. It's like, yeah, my daughter graduated with a 4.0, so this what I did for her prompt, like an explanation behind the
See,
prompt.
they watching, but they not telling us they watching. It's cool. It's cool.
The
But that's what
explanations
they
behind
should
the
do.
prompts is starting to come out.
Yeah. But just make sure it's nothing wrong with spoiling your children, but just make sure you're balancing that off with real life lessons. And you're not sending them into the world lazy and holding other people accountable for themselves.
And clueless and just clueless as to nothing in the world because you're not, and that's what I have to explain to my kids. You're not realistically, y'all not gonna be there. You're not always gonna be there. Your grandmother, look at your grandmother, look at your mother, look at your father.
Mhm.
They may not be there now, so realistically you have to think realistically. You can't coddle them. You really have to think beyond that. What are they going to do, or who is going to be there to help them when you're no longer there? Nobody. That's how you have to think. That's how you have to change your mindset. Nobody. They're going to be there by themselves.
Right. And they're listening to you, and watching you, good, bad, or indifferent. So everything that you put into them, they may not reflect. But just like when all of us got our own place for the first time, we knew how to clean, we knew how to cook, we knew how to do the things that we saw our parent or parents do. That's the first
Mm-hmm.
thing. Now, many of us, I don't get up on early 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays to clean no more, but I know how to do that when I have to. But children are watching you. They're watching the negative things. They're watching the positive things. They're watching the things you don't even think they see.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. That is absolutely right. We have to ooh, we have to just be more mindful of what we teach our kids and what we allow our kids to experience. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Oh,
you.
we have to just be more mindful of what we teach our kids and what we allow our kids to experience. Like you said, they're watching. They're constantly keeping up with us and keeping up with what we got going on, and they're looking at that. And even some of them, even at a young age, starting at a young age, they're starting to emulate things that they see us do, or say things that they hear us say.
Because
So
I
just be
learned
more mindful,
how to grandmother.
huh?
I said that's when I learned how to cuss my grandmother, word for word.
Not cuss people out
I did.
from your grandmother.
Yeah. I used to love the word
Mm-mm.
motherfucker because it would come out her mouth like poetry.
Mm-mm.
Well,
I
on
can't.
that note,
I don't
on
know
that
where
note,
I
I guess
learned it
that's
from.
the end of our show. Is it 12 o'clock yet? Yeah, I think it's 12 o'clock. That's the end of the show.
Now she ready to get off. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Go
Oh,
on
I gotta
social
sneeze. Hold on.
media. Make sure you go on social media, my IG, my Facebook, or I Am She Podcast, Facebook, Instagram on June the 7th. Make sure you wish KD a happy birthday.
How
Girl,
old?
that's Monday. Ain't June the 7th Monday? No, June the 7th
It's
is what
seven.
day?
That's Sunday.
It's
No, it's
who?
I thought it was
Yeah, it
Wednesday.
is. It's
It's
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. Wednesday. Oh, I don't know
Wednesday.
why I thought it
Make
was 7th.
sure you go on I.Am.She and wish KD a happy birthday. And you can send gifts like Nate getting. I'm just trying to get like him when I turn 40. I want a lot of gifts.
Yeah, I only got like a couple gifts. Everybody else is with me.
Somebody said that's that peace giving him them gifts.
I want
Mm,
I want
mm,
some meals,
mm.
That's what I
cake.
heard. That was a peace giving them gifts.
I want
That
some
peace
meals.
came
I
through
could
on that big 40. I want to be like
You
you.
have to let people love on you. That's my advice moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
If I can say anything, um, do what makes you comfortable. Don't chase money. I just had to learn that lesson this morning. That's why I was a little absent from the show. Um, do the things that make you comfortable. Stop living and
Period.
trying to support everybody's dream. That's making it difficult. And now in today's world, people are making it difficult for you to even support them. Do you do what you're supposed to be doing for you? If it don't feed you, the hell with
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
the
that's
best.
some great advice. That's the best advice ever.
All right, y'all. So don't forget to
If it
tune in
ain't
next
feeding
Saturday.
you, financing you, or loving on you, you don't
it.
have to
Black
do it.
Roses and Black Roses is done because I gotta go get my gun. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in next.
Go ahead, you criminal.
Make sure you guys tune in next Saturday. Are we doing 11 or 10?
We're doing the same time. I will never change my time to suit somebody else's dreams ever again.
So wait, are we doing 10
What's
o'clock?
the
Or we
same
doing?
Yeah, we
time?
can do
10
11.
11
I mean, if
o'clock.
y'all want to start doing 10, we can do 10.
Oh no. We will be back on Thursday at 11 o'clock back to our normal time. We will be back to our normal time.
Hmm.
Make sure you guys tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to become a sponsor, we are still looking for sponsors. We will do
We are
your
still looking
run
for
if you send it
sponsors.
to us to become a sponsor. If you want
Yeah.
to become a sponsor, you can hit us up on our Instagram, Facebook, I.Am.She Podcast, or in our email. You can send us a message if you want to become a guest, if you want something to talk about. We still taking pimps. If you want to teach us how to pimp, no, I'm messing with y'all. But
My phone was hot.
you can hit
Y'all
us
better come
in
on for
our
my phone cut out.
you can hit us on our email podcast, IamShe@gmail.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we will see y'all next Saturday. I'm out.
Bye.